Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about She Faust. This ID is really quite cool, and it's been a very long time since we last got a She identity. Do take note that this character is a standard unit, which means you do not need to pull for this unit. If you're from Arknights or for collab, you just wanted to come in and see what's going on, this unit is a standard unit. You can just dispense her anytime. Dispensing means you put 400 shards into her and then you can go and get her straight up. You don't have to pull for her at all with any lunacy, right? This Faust over here is interesting because she is not like the typical She clan. The She clan usually runs at 50% HP to get full power. This Faust does not care about dropping to 50% HP. She is a slashing unit most of the time, but she has a piercing skill here with the bow's glimmer over here, right? So that's where the bow is being used to shoot them. Otherwise, you're just basically meleeing them with the blade part of the bow, which I think is really cool, very similar to Bari, right? There are 5 passives on this character, right? So you need to know every single one of them to understand, but ultimately the flow of how to play this character is very simple, right? It's not really a super complicated character. First off, you have 4 arrows over here because she is number 4, right? You have Lodged Arrow. Lodged Arrow is after you shoot the enemy with your skill tree, the arrow shot, right? You will be stuck inside of them. They will get bleed potency equal to the stack. They lose defense level equal to stack, and at X plus stacks, you gain fragile next turn. So that means if you keep shooting the same guy multiple times, you can actually stack up this thing and get fragility on top of the enemy. It will expire on death, on retreat of the enemy, buff removal or expiration. When it expires, it will apply arrow she back into Faust. What that means is that you will pick up your arrow after the guy is dead, ran away, or the buff expired, right? So that's what Lodge Arrow will actually do. You need target aim and you need ready to lose. What are these two for? These are for the shooting of the bow itself. For ready to lose, it converts your leftmost base attack skill to bow's glimmer and uses it at combat start. You cannot be staggered out of it, so you will shoot it before you get staggered, and it will not trigger assist attack. Well, this unit has this buff, which I thought was quite interesting because either they are talking about collaborating with Captain Ishmael ID, or they're perhaps hinting at a future She director ID, which might be able to assist attack the other She clan members onto enemies, which would actually be really cool, right? To have some synergies with the She clan. Okay. The last one is going to be Life Render, which is gain offense level and also gain final power. So that's all of the 5 passives over here. Okay, moving on to the She no Yumi. At X arrow She stacks, which is a certain amount of arrows that you have, every time you gain poise from your base attacks, you will gain poise count. So every time you're hitting with this or this or this, you're getting your poise count on top of that. So it looks like this character should be relatively easy to maintain the poise stacks on herself, but you will need a certain amount of arrows here. Once you burn a lot of your arrows, you might not be able to actually get your poise count to be maintained easily, right? If this unit uses Bow's Glimmer skill at X plus target aim, you will also get slash damage up next turn. This is basically when you're going to be shooting, you will want to get the ready to lose, right? So if you do not have ready to lose, when you use your guard skill, you will gain it, and you also gain target aim next turn, but you must have a certain number of arrows left. I'm guessing you cannot use this if you run out of arrows. So that's what's going to happen here. As long as you have 1 or more arrows, you can gain the ready to lose and target aim, so you can shoot. But once you run out of ammo, you can't really use this anymore because you ran out of the arrows, right? So that's what's going to happen here. Every time you use your guard skill to activate your ready to lose and target aim, and then you shoot with the target aim, you can get the slash damage up, and then you just use one of your slashing skills over here, right? So that is the synergy here. You want to shoot and then slash, and then shoot and then slash if you can. Snipe archery. If you're in the ready to lose state, blah 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 blah. It's the exact same line as this one over here. But if you're at max target aim stack, the skill glimmering bow is on neither of your dashboards or upcoming list of skills. What happens is that your defense changes to the skill tree. So if you are basically I'm guessing, right, what's going to happen is you have to guard multiple times and you're just aiming, right? If you just keep aiming at the opponent, then you will get a lot of stacks, and then once you have full stacks, basically fully charged the bow like you saw in the trailer, right? You can basically convert one of your skills, and whichever skill you convert, skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, you will get a bonus, but you convert it into the skill 3-2. So you can even convert your skill 3-1 into 3-2, and you will get additional base power, coin power, and do more damage. So it's like a charging thing that you can do, but it's by spamming the guard skill to charge up more. So you can get more of your target aim simply by guarding and guarding and guarding, like drawing the bow and then full drawing it and then holding it there and then boom, let go of the bow afterwards. And it will force you to do it basically because you just convert your leftmost skill into a skill 3-2. Right, so that is the shtick with this Faust over here. It's actually very simple to understand this character. I know there's 5 passives, but it's actually really easy to understand. All you need to do is know that as long as you activate the defense skill over here, and you have arrows, you will activate your shooting stance, and you get target aim. If you do have the shooting stance already because you used it last turn, and you did not use an attack skill this turn, you will still gain target aim next turn. So you can just stack up that aim, and then after that you pop this again, and you just convert your leftmost skill into your skill 3-2 after a few turns of charging it, right? With taking several turns to charge, it has to be really, really worth it. So we have to see what's the payout if you are able to get a huge amount of target aim stacks. Perhaps if it adds another like 150%, 200% multiplier by just aiming for 2 turns, it might be worth it, but we have to see. I really need to know what is the level of target aim you will need in order to get a really, really powerful output on the skill 3-2 over here, to know how long you need to charge in order to get the best output for this character, right? Perhaps there might be a future unit that lets them charge faster, and that will actually make them a lot more synergistic, right? So yeah, that could be something that happens later on. If you do not have Eroshi, by the way, you will instead evade. So that's the thing, right? You unfold the bow blade, is literally just going into bow stance, and then after that, if you don't have any arrows, you will just use an evasion skill instead. Evasion skills are really, really useful, right? Skill 3-2, the big cash out skill over here. Deal more damage for every target aim, but if you hit a certain amount of target aim, you deal even more damage on critical hit. So I'll have to see this number in particular when it comes out, right? Because this replaces the above 2 effects, so I'll need to see how much extra damage you get for charging up this bow for several turns, right? You also gain base power for poise, coin power for every target aim, so that's another thing, right? You also gain poise for every X target aim. Take note that you only have 1 coin here, so the coin power is basically not that interesting because only 1 coin, but this skill also cannot be reused by the commemorative coin. Every time you see this line over here, it basically says, hey, you can't use this with commemorative coin. Sorry. Yeah, because they don't want another broken Honglu situation again, I'm guessing. That's why they want to make all of these skills commemorative coinable, right? And after that, you also lose target aim, something poise, then you remove ready to lose, and then target aim from yourself. This part here basically is saying that, hey, after you activate your big bow, I need to go and build up some poise again. After you build up some poise again, then you can come back and shoot the bow. So you can't spam this too much. So I feel like they're going to definitely try to push out some Shi support so that we will actually get a full team of Shis to kind of make their poise a little bit easier, allow them to charge a little bit faster or shoot even more arrows, right? Like it could be like, okay, Shi, fire, and then all of the Shi will go into stance, all of the Shi will fire. Some shit like that could be really, really fun, right? It's like telling all of your characters to just charge up their bows, and then after that, this guy would trigger fire, and then all of them will fire, right? That would be really, really cool. Okay, anyway, after that, on hit, inflict lodge arrow. Once inflicted, you lose the arrow Shi. On kill, you gain life render next turn, so that's why you get the life render buff on yourself for offense level and final power increase. And then on critical kill against enemy, you also gain poise count. So that's pretty much it. Really, that's really all you need to know about this character here. Your skill 1, 2s, and 3s are just for building up the poise. After that, when you feel like you're ready to go and shoot some arrows, you activate the defense skill over here. And then after that, you just charge it up again if you want to, depending on whether this is worth it or not. And if you want to charge it up for 2 turns, on the 3rd turn, maybe they'll just force you to go and use the bow's glimmer by making your leftmost skill count as a skill 3 as long as you put a defense skill on it. Right, so that's it. That's really all I have to say about this character. It is not that hard of a character to understand, even though this side here has 5 statuses, right? Relatively simple to understand character. It's just using the guard skill to enter your skill 3-2 stance, and then after that you choose to shoot it earlier or shoot it a little bit later. It's really going to be up to you already, right? So yeah, I want to see what other synergies are going to come out with this character over here. This character is relatively simple, and it is basically going to be replacing our Blade Lineage Faust because she was a bit too niche on her release. So this will be our new bleeding plus poise character for our other team comps that are going to be hybrids, right? The bleeding slash poise characters. For example, Captain Ahab or something like that with the Pequod gang. That's our bleeding slash poise character. So maybe this will, you know, see some other use later on, especially when you look at this having additional bleed count here and bleed count here and bleed count here, right? Really, really interesting stuff here. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye-bye.